Walking. It is perhaps the most powerful medicine we have. It's a symbol of independence, a pillar of senior health, and a daily act of hope. But let me ask you something. What if I told you that this one activity, something we all trust, something we do to protect our health, could, if done the wrong way, quietly set the stage for a stroke? Not during your walk, but hours later, while you're sound asleep. I've been a brain doctor for more than 30 years, and I can't tell you how many heartbreaking cases I've seen. Men and women who walked every single day, who tried so hard to do the right thing, and yet ended up in my care after a devastating neurological event. They were doing what they thought was best. They were trying to protect themselves. But there were small things, tiny, overlooked details in their routine. Maybe it was the time of day. Maybe it was the shoes on their feet. Or maybe it was just the fact that they forgot to drink a little water. Those small, invisible choices turned their healthiest habit into a hidden trigger. And let me be very clear, it's not walking itself that's dangerous. It's how you walk. It's the small, silent mistakes, how you hydrate, how you stand, what you wear, and especially how you recover afterward that can quietly damage your circulation. They can encourage blood clot formation, and they can dramatically increase your stroke risk, especially when your brain is most vulnerable, in the dead of night. So welcome back to Senior Health Tips 365. Today, I'm not here to tell you to stop walking. I want to show you how to walk wisely, how to protect your brain after each walk, especially while you sleep. I've seen your worries about falling. I've seen the confusion about what's truly safe, and I know how deeply you want to stay independent, in body, in mind, in life. So this is for you, just you and me, like you're sitting in my office and I'm walking you through what I tell every patient. We're going to look at 9 common walking and sleeping habits that can quietly raise your stroke risk, even if your day seems healthy. And for each one, I'll explain the science, and I'll give you a simple, gentle solution so every step you take becomes a safer one. Do you walk every day as part of your routine? Let me know in the comments with a simple yes, so I know who I'm walking alongside today. And please stay with me until the last second, because by the end of this video, you'll have a full, brain-safe walking and sleeping plan, one that protects your circulation, your oxygen, your memory, and your peace of mind. Let's begin with the mistake that happens before you even tie your shoes.
You've probably said this to yourself. I'm just going around the block. It's not even hot today. I'll drink something when I get back. That seems reasonable, doesn't it? But in truth, this is the single most underestimated risk I see in older adults who walk. Even mild dehydration, the kind you don't feel, can increase the thickness of your blood. And when blood becomes thick, it becomes more likely to form clots. And clots are the fuel for stroke. Let's talk about why. As we age, 2 major things happen in our bodies. First, our sense of thirst becomes weaker. It's regulated by a part of the brain called the hypothalamus. And as we get older, that part becomes less responsive. You can be clinically dehydrated and not feel thirsty at all. Second, your kidneys stop holding on to water as efficiently. You lose fluid faster than you used to, even on a cool day, even when you're not sweating. And when you go for a walk, you lose more water than you realize, not just through sweat, but through your breath, especially in the winter. Cold, dry air pulls moisture from your lungs every time you exhale. But because you're not hot, you don't think to rehydrate. So here's what happens inside. Your blood's plasma volume drops, but the red blood cells and clotting factors remain. Now your blood is more concentrated, thicker, and slower. It's like trying to push honey through a straw instead of water. That kind of slow, sticky blood is far more likely to form a clot, especially in arteries that are already narrow from age-related plaque. That clot may form during the day, but it can travel silently and strike while you're sleeping. In the early morning hours, when your blood pressure and circulation naturally dip, that's when many strokes occur. The CDC recognizes dehydration as a major comorbidity that worsens stroke outcomes. But I believe we must start seeing it as a primary trigger. Let me share a story. Mr. Jameson, 79 years old, a former firefighter from Colorado, tough as nails. He walked 2 miles every single day. Rain, shine, cold, heat, but he hated carrying water. He once told me, "It made me feel old." For more than a year, he walked in dry mountain air and didn't drink until dinner. One morning, his wife found him collapsed beside the bed. He had suffered a massive stroke in the left middle cerebral artery of the brain. His labs told the story. No major blockages, no irregular heartbeat, but his blood was thick, his hematocrit and viscosity dangerously high. He had thickened his own blood by simply forgetting to drink. During rehab, he whispered to me through a damaged voice, "I thought I was doing everything right. I didn't know that forgetting water could take my voice." So here's what I recommend. Pre-hydrate. Drink 1 full 8-ounce glass of room temperature water 30 minutes before your walk. That gives your body time to absorb it. Carry and sip. Take a small water bottle with you. Drink a few sips every 15 minutes, even if you don't feel thirsty. Post-hydrate. Within 30 minutes of finishing your walk, drink another full glass of water. Know the silent signs: morning dizziness, dark-colored urine, dry mouth, fatigue after walking. These aren't just signs of aging. They're your body warning you, "I need water." Please listen.
Many of you have told me, "I like walking when the sun's out. It's good for my vitamin D." And you're right. Sunshine can lift your mood, strengthen your bones, and yes, help your body make vitamin D. But here's the part we don't talk about enough. Sunlight can also harm your blood vessels, especially as you get older. You see, when ultraviolet or UV rays hit your skin, they cause something called oxidative stress. That creates unstable molecules, free radicals, which attack your healthy cells. This includes the cells lining your arteries, including the ones in your brain. A healthy artery is smooth inside. Blood flows through it like water through a clean pipe. But when those cells are inflamed, the artery becomes rough and sticky. That's when plaque builds up. That's when clots form. And it's not just your skin. Your eyes also absorb UV rays. They connect directly to the blood supply that feeds your brain. Too much sun damages those tiny vessels too. Research has shown that people with high exposure to UV rays often have higher levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation that's been linked to heart attacks and strokes. So no, the sun is not always your friend, not without protection. Here's how you can stay safe. Walk early in the morning or later in the afternoon when UV rays are lower, before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m. Wear a wide-brimmed hat that protects your face, ears, and neck. Use real sunglasses, not just tinted ones, that block 99% of UVA and UVB rays. Cover your arms with light, breathable clothing. And apply sunscreen at least SPF 30 on exposed areas like your hands, neck, and face. This isn't about vanity. It's about vascular protection and giving your brain the best chance it has.
I know how precious your solitude is. Many of you say walking alone is my peace. It's my time to think. And I understand.
But when it comes to stroke prevention, walking alone can be risky. Not because you're alone when the stroke happens, but because you might miss the early signs. Let me explain. When someone has a stroke, there's a narrow window called the golden hour to give a life-saving treatment called TPA, a clot-busting drug. It works best if given within 3 to 4.5 hours of symptom onset. But the first symptoms can be subtle. A slight numbness in your hand, a brief confusion, forgetting where you were going, a moment where your leg feels heavy or your speech slurs just a little. When you're walking alone, you might brush it off. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I walked too fast. But if someone was with you, they might notice right away. They might say, "Are you okay? Your face looks a little off." That simple moment could start a 911 call and save your brain. Let me tell you about Leonard. He was 75, a widower. He walked every morning, alone, like clockwork. One day, his right leg felt heavy, and he got briefly confused. He sat on a bench, rested a few minutes, then kept going. The next morning, he had a massive stroke. That heavy leg was a TIA, a mini stroke. Had someone been with him, he might have gotten treatment in time. He told me later, "Solitude is peaceful, doc, but silence can be deadly." So here's what you can do. Walk with a buddy a few times a week, a neighbor, a friend, a spouse. You don't have to talk the whole time, just be together. If you must walk alone, tell someone where you're going, when you'll be back. Check in when you return. And always carry a phone. Not buried deep in a bag. Keep it somewhere you can reach quickly. If you're at high risk, and many of my patients are, consider a medical alert device with GPS or fall detection. It's not a weakness. It's a quiet strength. We've just walked through 3 important mistakes, all about how you prepare for your walk and the environment you walk in. But now let's shift focus. This next part is about what happens during the walk itself, the time of day, the way you hold your body, even the shoes on your feet. I know many of you have shared with me you're worried about your posture, you're afraid of falling, and you're not always sure what kind of shoes are truly safe anymore. I hear that, and I want you to know we're going to go through it all, step by step. So please stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear, simple plan to help make every step you take a safer one. And if this has been helpful so far, would you take a moment to click that subscribe button? It's such a small action, but it helps this community grow, and it tells me that these conversations are making a difference. Let's keep going. You're doing great.
I hear this all the time. I always go for a walk after dinner. It helps me digest and keeps my blood sugar in check. And yes, that habit can be helpful in the right context. But if you're walking right after a large or heavy meal, there's something important you need to know. After you eat, especially meals high in fat or carbs, your body sends a big wave of blood toward your stomach and intestines. It's called postprandial hyperemia, and it's completely normal. The body's trying to digest, so it redirects blood away from other areas, like your brain. Now, if you start walking right after that meal, your muscles suddenly ask for blood too. Your legs are saying, "Send blood here." Your stomach is saying, "No, send it here." So, where does the blood come from? Often, it's your brain that loses out. For a younger person with flexible arteries and a strong heart, that's usually not a big deal. But in someone over 60, with stiffer arteries and a heart that's working harder, this competition for blood can cause problems. You may feel dizzy, heavy, lightheaded. And worse, when the blood flow in your brain slows down like that, especially if there's any plaque or narrowing, it increases the chance for a clot to form or lodge in a vessel. The risk is real. It's something I've seen with my own patients. So here's what I suggest. Follow the 90-minute rule. Wait at least 90 minutes after a full meal before doing a structured walk. That gives your digestion time to settle, and it keeps your blood flow more balanced. If you want to walk after dinner, that's fine, but keep both the meal and the walk light. A simple bowl of soup, a salad, and a gentle 10 to 15-minute stroll. That's very different from walking 30 brisk minutes after steak, potatoes, and dessert. And listen to your body. If you feel sleepy, sluggish, or foggy after eating, that's not the time to push yourself. Your body is already working hard on digestion. Try some light stretching instead, or simply sit outside, breathe deeply, and give your system time to reset. Now let's talk about something subtle, but extremely common. I can't tell you how many of my patients have said, "I keep my eyes down while I walk so I don't trip." It makes perfect sense. No one wants to fall. But here's the danger. When you spend your walk looking down, with your neck bent forward, you're not just adjusting your vision, you're compressing the arteries in your neck, the carotid and vertebral arteries, which carry blood directly to your brain. This posture is often called forward head posture, and in older adults, where arteries may already be narrowed or stiff, even a small reduction in neck space can significantly reduce blood flow velocity. It's like stepping on a garden hose. The water still flows, but not very well. And that sluggish, uneven flow increases the risk of a clot to form or lodge in a vessel. The risk is real. It's something I've seen with my own patients. So here's what I suggest. Start with your gaze. Look about 10 to 15 feet ahead of you, not down at your feet. This naturally lifts your chin and aligns your neck. Then, gently pull your shoulders back and down. Imagine tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets. It opens your chest and relieves tension. Now imagine a string at the top of your head, gently pulling you up, lengthening your spine. This posture helps open the arteries and support better brain circulation. And if you're looking down out of fear, if you're feeling unsteady, that's not a weakness. It's your body asking for support. Consider walking poles or a walker. They're not signs of aging, they're signs of wisdom. They help you stay upright, confident, and safe.
Now, let's talk about something subtle, but extremely common. I can't tell you how many of my patients have said, "I keep my eyes down while I walk so I don't trip." It makes perfect sense. No one wants to fall. But here's the danger. When you spend your walk looking down with your neck bent forward, you're not just adjusting your vision, you're compressing the arteries in your neck, the carotid and vertebral arteries, which carry blood directly to your brain. This posture is often called forward head posture, and in older adults, where arteries may already be narrowed or stiff, even a small reduction in neck space can significantly reduce blood flow velocity. It's like stepping on a garden hose. The water still flows, but not very well. And that sluggish, uneven flow increases the risk of a clot or a piece of plaque breaking loose. Some clinics can even demonstrate this with ultrasound. When the neck bends forward, cerebral blood flow drops. And here's the tough part. Many of you look down because you're afraid of falling, but it's that very posture that can make you more dizzy, more likely to fall, or even trigger a TIA, a mini stroke. So what's the safer option? Start with your gaze. Look about 10 to 15 feet ahead of you, not down at your feet. This naturally lifts your chin and aligns your neck. Then gently pull your shoulders back and down. Imagine tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets. It opens your chest and relieves tension. Now imagine a string at the top of your head, gently pulling you up, lengthening your spine.
This posture helps open the arteries and support better brain circulation. And if you're looking down at a fear, if you're feeling unsteady, that's not a weakness. It's your body asking for support. Consider walking poles or a walker. They're not signs of aging. They're signs of wisdom. They help you stay upright, confident, and safe. Let me ask you, have you ever grabbed a pair of shoes just because they were easy to slip on? Old sneakers, flat canvas shoes, a pair of soft house slippers. I get it. But here's the thing. Your shoes are the foundation of your body's movement, and the wrong pair can quietly create serious risks. When your shoes are too tight, too flat, or lack support, two dangerous things can happen. First, they compress the veins and nerves in your feet and ankles. That slows down the return of blood from your legs back up to your heart. When that blood pools or moves too slowly, it can form a deep vein thrombosis, or DVT, a dangerous clot. And if that clot travels, it can go to your lungs, or in some people with a small heart defect, it can even reach your brain. And second, bad shoes force your body to move in unnatural ways. You may walk differently to avoid pressure or pain. That throws off your knees, hips, lower back, and eventually your neck. All of that can feed into the poor posture we just talked about. And for those of you living with neuropathy, numbness or tingling in your feet, you may not even feel that your shoes are hurting you, which means the damage can go unnoticed. So let me give you a checklist. Look for shoes with good arch support and a cushioned sole. Avoid flat shoes like old slippers or thin canvas sneakers. Make sure there's a thumb's width between your longest toe and the front of the shoe. If you feel foot pain, numbness, or balance trouble, see a podiatrist or physical therapist. They can evaluate your gait and recommend proper shoes or inserts. And please, replace shoes with worn soles. They may feel like broken in, but they no longer protect you. Before we continue, I just want to say this. If you've been with me this far, I want to thank you. It tells me you're someone who takes your health seriously. You're not just walking, you're walking with awareness. Now, we're about to explore your environment and mindset, things you can change today. So please stay with me for the next part. And if you found value so far, subscribe to this channel, Senior Health Tips 365. It's one small act that helps this community grow stronger together. And if you can, share this video with someone you care about, someone who walks every day just like you. Because one small change can protect everything.
You might have heard it, or even said it yourself. Walking on hills is a better workout. It keeps me strong. And you're not wrong. Inclines challenge your legs, your lungs, even your heart. But for someone over 60, whose cardiovascular system may already be under strain, those hills and uneven paths can suddenly push your blood pressure to dangerous levels. Let me explain. When you walk on a flat surface, your heart and lungs settle into a rhythm. Your body gets into a groove, and that's good. Your blood pressure rises slightly, but it stabilizes. But when you hit a steep hill or a bumpy, unpredictable trail, your muscles suddenly demand more oxygen right away. Your heart reacts fast, pumping harder, faster. Your blood pressure spikes, sometimes sharply. Now here's the problem. As we age, our arteries stiffen. They're not as flexible as they used to be. So when blood pressure rises quickly, those vessels can't expand the way they used to. That creates something we call shearing stress, pressure on the inner lining of your arteries. And that stress can cause a plaque to rupture or trigger a clot that wasn't there before. Even walking downhill isn't safe for everyone. It puts sudden strain on your balance and forces your body to make constant micro-adjustments, especially in your knees and inner ears. That can also cause your blood pressure and heart rhythm to become unstable. So what can you do? Choose flat, even walking surfaces. If there's a school near you with a walking track, that's perfect. Or flat sidewalks in your neighborhood, clear, predictable, well-maintained. Indoor malls are also great, especially in bad weather. Even treadmills can help, because they offer a smooth, controlled environment. If you want to challenge yourself gently, you can use a treadmill with a slight incline, but keep it consistent, not sudden or steep. And here's something I always remind my patients. Check the weather and the ground. Avoid walking on wet grass, mud, gravel, or icy paths. A single slip can cause more than a bruise. It can lead to a fall, a brain injury, or a fracture that takes months to heal. Walking shouldn't feel like a gamble. It should feel safe, predictable, and steady, just like your heartbeat. We live in a noisy world, and I understand. For many of you, putting in earbuds or listening to a podcast makes the walk feel less lonely. But here's something important. Distraction divides your attention. And at your age and mine, walking isn't automatic. It's not just muscle memory. Balance, coordination, and awareness require real mental energy. And when you give that energy to a podcast, a phone call, or a conversation, you take it away from your feet, your posture, and the messages your body is trying to send. I can't tell you how many patients I've seen who missed the earliest signs of a stroke because they were focused on something else. A tingle in the hand, a moment of imbalance, a brief flicker of confusion, gone in a second. If you're listening to something else, you may not notice until it's too late. And remember this, time is brain. Every minute a stroke goes untreated, 2 million brain cells die. So I recommend this. When you walk, just walk. Be present. Feel your feet touch the ground. Notice your breath. Listen to the birds or the breeze, or even just the rhythm of your steps. This doesn't mean you have to walk in silence forever, but save your podcasts, music, or calls for after your walk, when you're sitting or resting. If you like having your phone for safety, great. Keep it in your pocket. But don't hold it. Don't scroll. Don't talk while walking. And if you do enjoy music, choose soft instrumental tunes and keep the volume very low so you can still hear what's happening around you. Give your walk and your brain the full attention it deserves.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever taken a walk at night to wind down before bed? It sounds peaceful, doesn't it? But if you're walking too close to bedtime, you might be accidentally disrupting one of your body's most protective processes, the nighttime dip in blood pressure. You see, your body follows a natural 24-hour rhythm. In the evening, your brain starts releasing melatonin. Your heart slows down. Your blood vessels relax. Your blood pressure gently drops, usually by 10 to 20%. This dip is essential. It gives your heart and your brain time to rest and repair. But when you exercise, even a simple walk right before bed, you stimulate your nervous system. You raise your heart rate, pump out adrenaline, raise cortisol, and that delays or blocks your body's ability to wind down. That means your blood pressure stays elevated all night long. This is called nocturnal hypertension, and it's a serious, silent risk factor for stroke, especially the kind that happens during sleep or in the early hours of the morning. So what's the answer? Walk in the morning or early afternoon if you can. That's when your body is naturally more active and it lines up with your heart's rhythm. If you enjoy evening movement, try something gentler. Stretching, light Tai Chi, even a short, slow stroll, not brisk, is okay, as long as it doesn't elevate your heart rate. And always finish all moderate exercise at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. Give your body time to move from go to rest. You deserve restful sleep, and your heart deserves that recovery time. Now, let's wrap this up together. We've talked today about 9 hidden risks that can quietly turn a healthy walk into something dangerous if we're not aware. But let me be clear, The message is not to stop walking. The message is to walk with wisdom. You are not the same body you were at 40, and that's not weakness, that's reality. You still have power. Power in the glass of water you drink before your walk. Power in the shoes you choose. Power in the time of day you walk and who you walk with. This is about honoring your body, about choosing habits that protect your brain and your heart, day and night. If this conversation brought you clarity or gave you even one small change to help you feel safer, please give this video a like and share it with another senior you care about. And I'd be honored if you left a comment below. Which of these 9 walking mistakes surprised you the most? Your story matters, and it might help someone else avoid a tragedy. Finally, please hit subscribe to Senior Health Tips 365. That small act tells me these videos are helping people like you, and it gives us the strength to keep making more for your health, your safety, and your future. You deserve to walk confidently, and you deserve to feel strong. Let's keep going, together,